Hi, welcome back. This is part 4 of a series on how to approach the bass while standing up. The first video in the series, I'm going to put a link right there if you've missed it, is how to hold the instrument with no hands. The second video in the series, I'll put a link right here, how to involve the bow and keep your balance and the equilibrium in place. The third video, I'll put a link down over here. The third video is about getting your left hand involved and keeping the instrument in a position of equilibrium so that you don't have to use your thumb to hold up the instrument. This video is going to be about getting up into the thumb position. I know this is one that doesn't come up in school orchestra classes much. Maybe by the time you're in an advanced high school ensemble or if you're in private lessons. So for the most part, this will be available for kids who need it to work on with their private teachers. But for those of you who are dealing with students in a school orchestra setting that are coming up against having to have a limited amount of thumb position and have kids who don't have private lessons, hopefully this will be helpful for you. A couple of things quickly to recap. First, balance. Second, bass a little bit forward so that you can bow with no hands, with the pressure of the bass leaning forward, balancing the pressure of the bow pushing back so you have a system of equilibrium. Third, the left hand, bass leans forward just a little bit more so that you can push down a string without having to squeeze with your thumb. Maybe just a little bit of pressure from the thumb, but the minimum amount possible. Certainly never holding the instrument up with your thumb. You're more holding the instrument up with your bow and the tip of your finger. The thumb just helping out your finger just a little bit. When you go into thumb position, you fundamentally change the relationship of your body with the instrument. Now, there are different people with different opinions about this, so you may find someone who says, no, this is just junk and all that. Now, I hate to have somebody come and say that this is junk because this is something that works, but there are lots of different ways to do this, and this is one way, and it's what works well for me. So just with that, let's go on. I'm going to start off by playing a C major scale. I'm just going to do one octave starting here and ending here. Now, what I hope you noticed while I did that is that I took a step back from the bass. I completely changed my relationship with the bass when I went into thumb position. The whole thing about keeping balanced and forward doesn't apply so much when you get into thumb position. After the F, I'm going to move to the G. I'm going to take a step back. This leg right here is going to step back. This leg, it depends on how long I'm going to be in thumb position. Sometimes I'll leave it a little foot forward, sometimes I'll step back with it also. And I'll end up with my instrument in a position like this. I still want 3 points of contact to define a plane and have your instrument stable. So a three-legged stool will never wobble. I want to keep 3 points of contact. I have the floor. I still have my hip, my abdomen right here, but now I have the neck against my shoulder. In this position, you're approaching the bass more as if you were sitting on a stool. Now, when I do this, there's a couple of advantages that come from taking the step back, maybe the other foot, depending on how long I'm going to be in thumb position. I'm just going to be here for a few notes. I'll probably leave that foot forward so I can step back when I come back down. I'm going to be here for a while. I'll take the other foot just so that I can continue to stand comfortably. And here's the key to this. I'm standing comfortably. Anything you do, the more you can keep your posture aligned, the better off you're going to be while doing it. This is why I take that step back. I don't want to hurt my back. For a long time, when I was a student, I really had some back problems. I was sitting on a stool. I'd be working on my concertos. I'd be sitting here like this. Right, my back hunched up, bent over the instrument up in my armpit, and boy, I'd have to stop, I'd have to stretch, my back would crack, and even standing up, sometimes you fall into that habit of getting down here like this. If you're working on something high for a long time, before you know it, your back is in all kinds of hurt. When I take this step back, My elbow, my arm, clears the shoulder of the instrument much more easily. My back stays, yeah, I mean, I might have to bend a little bit, but it's certainly not all slouched over and hunched up like you see some people get, like I used to get, and cause all kinds of back problems. I can reach all the way up, right to the end of my fingerboard. I can get my bow down right next to the bridge, and I have to bend a little bit, but not very much. I'm certainly not doing this business here. So the key, step back, bring your elbow up and around. You don't want to have maybe just the lightest of touch of your arm here against the edge, but mostly you want a little bit of space between there. Here's my G. As far as the shape of the hand goes, I'll go over this just a little bit because more importantly, I'm really focusing on getting the posture and the idea of taking this step to get into thumb position. Thumb on the harmonic, first finger. Even while I'm playing the first finger, I'm going to want my arm to come around and up a little bit enough so that my third finger is over the string while I'm playing the first finger. Whole step here for a B, half step here for the C, depending on the notes. You know, in the thumb position, the bass becomes more like a violin or a cello in that you have different finger patterns that you're using. First finger. It is very, very common for bass players when they play in thumb position to have that first finger knuckle collapse like this. I've seen world-class players that their first knuckle collapses and bends in just a little bit. I don't worry about that. The second finger, the third finger should stay a little bit curved because the angle they're coming down allows it. The first finger has to come nearly straight down, and it's almost impossible to keep that knuckle curved. I have met some people who insist on the knuckle curved. Okay, it works for some people, but like I said, there's a lot of folks, including world-class players, who let that first knuckle collapse. So if I see it a little curved, a little bit collapsed, I don't think that one matters much. The second and the third finger should stay curved because you still have some angle to come down at the instrument. So I'm going to show you this again, starting on a C. I'm going to go into thumb position. I'm going to step back, bring my other leg, get a comfortable posture and position. Coming down to the G, I'm going to start stepping forward again, and now I've got my bass back up on its toes. I think I'm going to leave it at that for the purposes of this video, just an introduction to it, because like I said, you don't encounter this too much in the school orchestra setting, and students who are going to be working on concertos and extended thumb position stuff, mostly those kids are going to have private teachers who can work on them, who can work on this with them. So anyway, I hope this was at least a little bit helpful for you. If you found this helpful, please click on my link right here, like the video, leave me a comment, and subscribe. There's hopefully more to come. Thank you so much.